Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Andy Shed Live for this Sunday the 5th of May 2019. This is Season 5 Episode 9 that we are calling Return of the Vintage Stylophones. And the reason that we're calling it Return of the Vintage Stylophones is because this came in the post the other day. Now, if you're getting a feeling of deja vu about this, it's because we actually did an episode here last week that was theoretically episode 9, but we had some technical issues. So we're basically going over that again this week because there shouldn't have been a show at all this week. Because I'm out and about all this weekend at various vintage rallies. Over the 3 days of this bank holiday weekend, because here in the UK it is May Day bank holiday weekend, over the 3 days of the bank holiday weekend I am actually going to 3 different stationary engine rallies. There will be footage of those on this channel soon. And that's why I'm looking a bit mucky actually today, because I've been covered in oil and diesel and all sorts of things today. So yeah, here we are, and we've got this stylophone. Just let me get some things out of the way so you can see what we're doing here. If I move that camera out a little bit, perhaps you might see better in a moment. Just getting my camera set up so you can see what's going on. There. How's that? Right, so here we are. This is a vintage stylophone. This is a very early one for those of you who have been asking about stylophones, and that this is a particularly early model, and you can tell it's an early one. The way you tell it's an early one is these gaps between the keys. I know they look black to you, they're actually brown, because a stylophone actually works by making a circuit. You have your stylus here, this little thing here, and you make a circuit. This has got a metal end on it, and when you touch it onto any of these pads here, these silver pads, it actually makes a circuit, and that's what makes the sound. So the actual stylus keyboard is actually the main circuit board inside the device. It's the board in the device, that the keyboard itself. All the components are actually on the back of that keyboard, which I'll show you in a moment. But yeah, so there's only 2 switches on a stylophone, on an original stylophone. One is the on-off switch, which I'll switch on there. And the other is to do something called vibrato. So if I play a note now, hadn't got the switch on quite. But if I play a note now, see, no vibrato on that. If I put the vibrato on, can you tell the difference? Does it make a difference, that? I think it does. There you go. That's with the vibrato on, and that's with the vibrato off. So that's the differences in the sound of the stylophone. And if you want to see inside one, if I knock all this off for a moment, we'll put the stylus back where it should be. And we can just get that in there for a minute. Oh, it goes that way, doesn't it? I think that way is the way it should go. Yep. If you want to see inside one of these, switch to the camera, then we have to take the back off. Now, this is another way of telling an original stylophone. There's no battery panel on the back. Now, they did make some original ones that had a battery panel on the back, but they were only sort of issued in, I think it was Hong Kong or somewhere like that. But if you're in the UK, chances are, if you get one that's got a battery panel in the back, it's a modern one. Also, modern ones have rounded corners, and these original ones have very square, almost sharp corners to them. And the way you get an original one apart, as you can see, there's no screws or anything in it. What you do is basically this little peg on the side here, which again it doesn't exist on a modern stylophone. You just kind of have to get something in there. You can sometimes do them with your fingers, but on this one it's been a bit awkward. So get a little flat bladed screwdriver in there, and there you go. The whole thing comes apart. The battery is a 9-volt battery in an original one. Again, that's something that changed on later ones. Later stylophones have two little, I think the AA cells in them. I think it's two that they have, but they have AA batteries in anyway. The original one here, as you can see from this, has a 9-volt, what I've always called a PP3, but I don't know if they have a different name for them these days. And here is the circuitry inside. Now I'll just show you, because that's the right way up to look at it. Now this is a very early one, and you can tell it's an early one because it's got discrete proper little switches down here for those two switches on the front, and it's, again, the switches are kind of built into the circuit board on later ones. And later ones, all these resistors here, you'll find there's a resistor here for each note on the stylophone, and it's the different value resistors here that got in the circuit when you press the when you touch the keys that make the different notes. Now later on, these resistors were combined into like two blocks. So there's two blocks that fit down here, and it won't have this row of individual resistors. There's like two blocks, and each one is multiple resistors. But this is a very early one. Later ones also have a 555 timer, somewhere around about here. But again, as I say, this is an early one. As you can see, it's a really simple thing. One of the interesting things about it is the speaker. If I can get this up under the camera, yeah, and I can get it in focus, you'll see there that it's a 75 ohm speaker. Can you see that? And 75 ohm speakers are not easy to get a hold of. In fact, they're pretty much impossible, it seems, to get a hold of these days. And I have got one. I've got a treble stylophone, which is a white one, which does higher pitched sound, and that one's got a Duff speaker in it, so I do need to try and get a speaker or find something that will act as a replacement. So that is what's inside a very early stylophone. So to put it back together, we have to get it the right way around, sort of thing. Put the battery back in its place down there, and there's two little bits that stick out just slightly on the side of the bottom case there. So you hook the top bit over that side, and then this other side, press it down, it clips down like that, and then you can hopefully push your stylus out like that. We can turn it on, and we can see if it works. Now, people have been asking, can I play anything on the stylophone? I can play one tune on the stylophone, so here goes. Name that tune. Are you ready? there you have it. I do like to be beside the seaside on the Stylophone, and if you want to hear the difference with the vibrato on, stick the vibrato on. So it'll come out like this, and I think this makes it sound more seasidey. Think Phil Kelthall on the organ at Blackpool. And the other thing you can do is there's no volume control on an original Stylophone. That's another way you can tell a modern one. They have a volume control. But what you can do is put your hand over there to alter the sound. There you go, don't all applaud at once. That is, I do like to be beside the seaside, played on the Stylophone. So there you go. And they said I had no talent. So that's it, an original Stylophone. Turn everything off. Remember, turn the switches off when you finish one of these, because it does run the batteries down quite quick. So yeah, people say, what happened to the Stylophone? Well, quite simply, they went out of fashion because things like this came along, cheap foreign keyboards and that could do far more than a Stylophone could do in terms of the sounds they could make and things. And I got this one given to me a little while ago. But this has got a number of different voices. It's got piano, what they call fantasy voice, violin, and flute. So you see, it's a completely different thing. If I try another one of the different voices. And so it kind of blew the Stylophones out of the water, unfortunately. But it's a real shame that these keyboards did that. But they do make Stylophones again now. I think it was the son of the inventor of the Stylophone brought the company back, the company that makes them, Dubrec. And they're now made, I think they're made abroad now though, under license. They're not made in the UK anymore. But you can still get Stylophones. In fact, you can get some very fancy ones now. And certain musicians do use them. I'm just trying to think. The one that I know of who is kind of current It's Pixie Lott. I believe Pixie Lott used the Stylophone on at least one of her tracks. So yeah, that is the Stylophone. And that about wraps it up for this episode of Andy's Shed Live. It's just a quick one this week, as I say, just to put right the wrongs that we had with stuff not working as it should have worked last week. As I said, we are actually in the middle of a weekend of doing all kinds of weird and wonderful things with stationary engines this weekend. Just to let you know where we are, we've been at Shire Oaks Spring Rally near Worksop. That's where we were yesterday on Saturday. Today we've been at Heege Windmill at their spring track today, and we're at Arkwright's Mill at Cromford in Derbyshire tomorrow, which is Monday the 6th of May. So if you are anywhere near Matlock or the Cromford area or Crich, if you've been to the Tramway Museum or anything, come down to Arkwright's Mill tomorrow and see us. We'll be there from about 10 AM in the morning till around about 3-4 in the afternoon, I should think. And remember, if you want to find out more about what we do here at Andy's Shed, you can also go on our website. It's andyshed.colepress.net. That's andyshed.colepress.net. And if you feel so inclined, why not become a patron of ours? You can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Andy's Shed. All we ask you to do is donate around about $1. And if you do that, if you donate us $1 a month, then we will put your name on the credits of this show. So go over there if you want to do that. Patreon.com/Andy's Shed. Right, that really is it for today. Thanks for watching. There'll be some new videos hopefully coming out in the week. Hopefully we'll have some footage from the rallies that we've been at over these last few days, and some more stuff as well. And we're back to the telephones and stuff next week. We're going to be wiring up those bell sets. Remember those bell sets that I got a few weeks ago? Well, we're going to be trying to wire them up on I think it's probably going to be on next week's episode, either next week's or the weeks after. So yeah, watch out for that. But from all of us here for now, have a great remainder of the bank holiday weekend. Whatever you're doing, have fun, and we'll see you soon.